I don't know how you do it. Gee, you've got your hands full. You know how babies are made, right? This is what people say to me all the time as a mom of 4, and in today's video I am sharing with you the truths and realities of being a mom of 4, and especially to 4 kids who are 6 and under. So if this sounds interesting to you, stay tuned, give this video a big thumbs up because it really does support my channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that bell so you get notified when we upload every Monday and Thursday. And let's chat about having a big family. If you're new to our channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Becca and I am a mom of 4 kids. We have been blessed with 2 girls and 2 boys. Their ages are 6, 4, 2, and 6 months old. So for 6 months I did have 2 boys under the age of 2. Thankfully, by the grace of God, we have gotten through that season and we are now just learning to be that family with 4 little ones. If you were to ask me specifics about the last 6 years, it is definitely a blur. I am very thankful that I document our lives by YouTube videos and photos and just little things that we have around the house as mementos, because I really struggle at pulling up key specific memories about the different kids. Michael and I will remember different things about each kid. And it definitely really has been a bit of a blur, and I would say that mostly comes down to the fact that we've been sleep deprived in the last 6 years. The first question I'm going to answer is, which was the hardest transition looking back on all 4 kids? I think there were 2 transitions that were particularly hard. The first was going from no kids to 1 kid. I am a primary school teacher and I have studied child development and those milestones and all the theories behind raising kids, and doing it yourself is a very different ball game. It is hard because it is a 24/7 relentless gig, and I just feel like you're really just not equipped to handle it, all the emotions, all the stress. There's absolutely some highs and it is the most rewarding job, but you could read as many books as you want, watch as many YouTube videos as you can about your parenting style and what you think your kid is going to be like, and then your child is born and they have their personality from the get-go, and without prior knowledge on how to rear children, it's very tricky to navigate, especially that first year. So 0 to 1 is definitely the hardest. However, now that we have 4 kids, I feel like the transition from 3 to 4 was actually pretty difficult because of the age gap that we have. We have a 6-year-old who is really independent. She is in grade 1 and just thriving in being herself and wanting to do all those big kid things, which is great, but it's really hard to accommodate to those interests and nurture that in her when I do have the other ones. She's also, because she's old enough to help, is struggling to walk that fine line between being my helper and being a third parent. We then had a 3 turning 4-year-old who is in kindy, sees her big sister at school, wants to get to prep and will get there next year, and is struggling with which world does she belong in. Is she in the little kids world, or is she starting to transition into the big kid world? And just navigating that season has been really difficult, especially because we're still at that stage where the frontal lobe is not kicked on, logical reasoning isn't there, it is pretty emotional, and we're just doing a lot of gentle parenting around the fact that we can have big feelings, but we're also trying to just work our way through it all. So that's been a tricky age group to deal with on top of it. And then add in a 1-year-old who just is all about the emotion with limited language and constantly wants touch. He's a very cuddly little boy. And then on top of that, add in a newborn that needs you 24/7 and doesn't care that anybody else exists because all they can think about is them. It is really difficult. I can understand why people want a large age gap. I can see the validity in it. However, even experiencing this firsthand, I would not change it for the world. I am thoroughly enjoying seeing our kids grow up together, being so close in age together. The biggest blessing is the fact that we do have the 2 girls together and then the 2 boys. The girls are 2 years apart, the boys are 17 months apart, and it's just beautiful beautiful. I know that in the long run, it's going to be 100% worth it. And even though it's really tricky right now, I'm really hoping that we can build that family community that is just going to help them get through life, because life is tricky and your family is definitely always there for you. The next question is, how do I feel about being outnumbered? Our ratios are either 4-1 or 4-2, in which case the odds are not in our favor. But because of our age gap, it is both a blessing and a hardship. The little boys, whenever we go out and about, are in our double pram, and so they're contained and safe and happy. And because the older girls are 4 and 6 and they are responsible, I can take them to the shops. Do I take the 4 kids out by myself much? Not really. Maybe once a week, like on a school day, I might take them out by myself if I'm desperately in need of picking something up that I couldn't throughout the day. But I am blessed in the fact that during the school week, I have the 3 older kids in care or school, and I'm just dealing with Eddie. And so if I do need to run an errand, I will try and do it then. Michael and I are really good in regards to going out with the 4 kids and tag teaming the highest needs and just working together really well as a team to look after the kids. Once again, I feel like being a primary school teacher really has helped me in regards to behavior management and staying on top of it all. And it's not as scary as you think it is. And because the older kids want to be older and have more responsibility, they do help out with the little kids, so it's not too overwhelming. In regards to living and transportation, this obviously needed to change once we were pregnant with Phineas, our 3rd. We went out to get our minivan, which is actually my dream car, and I vlogged the experience of shopping for it and then picking it up for the first time, and I still get a kick out of driving a minivan. It's my favorite car. I love just the family memories that we're creating in it. I'm wanting to take a road trip in it next year, which I'm trying to convince Michael to get on board with, just once again for the family memories. And every time at Christmas I decorate it, and I've done 2 videos of decorating our minivan the last 2 years, and I'm really excited to do it again this year. So for us, upgrading to a minivan wasn't a problem, and we specifically bought a minivan where we could take the middle seat of the middle row out, in which case the kids can walk into the back row. We're not having to flip any seats down or push any seats forward. It's just really accessible. And we currently have the 2 older girls in the back and the 2 younger boys in the middle. It was funny, we were cleaning the car out on the weekend and the kids were asking when they can swap around. There will be a day when we won't have car seats in the back of the minivan. It will be really exciting to see the dynamic between the siblings and who they choose to sit with. In regards to sleeping, we currently are working out of 3 bedrooms. Edmund is 6 months, so he's still in with us because I'm nursing him throughout the night, but there will be a day where he moves in with his brother and Phineas and Edmund will share a room. Our girls are already sharing a room. They started sharing a room once we got pregnant with Phineas, and we find them sharing rooms is not an issue at all, and it really is picture perfect once again that we have the 2 girls and 2 boys close in age. The way that we designed our house when we built it is that we actually have a playroom or a toy room, and it sits in between the kids' bedrooms. So there's no toys in their bedrooms. The bedrooms are just bedrooms. Though the girls do have a little bookshelf in there for quiet reading time, and I've taken Amira's Lego into her bedroom just so that it's not a choking hazard for the little boys. It's also a really great quiet activity for her and Zoe to play with, so I'm happy for that to happen. The next big change about having 4 kids is it's constantly noisy and extremely busy. There are very limited times where you will get downtime where there'll be minimal noise. We religiously do midday sleeps because it is our sanity break. It's something that Michael and I need to catch up on sleep. We try to be active with our lifestyle, in which case the kids generally need a rest, even the bigger girls. So we still have that. Everyone sleeps on a Saturday and Sunday. Thoroughly enjoy that part of the day. And in regards to noise, I'm very sound sensitive. I suffer with sensitivity to sound and touch, which as a mum is actually challenging most of the time, but I have a solution that has helped me greatly with my sound. These headphones are so good because they get rid of the excess sound and help you just to hear voice. And I have described it to friends and family for the fact, like, if Edmund is screaming in the car, Finn's having a tantrum and the girls are fighting, it takes the edge off the sound that would make you just feel pain. And that's the thing, is sound crosses over your pain receptor in your brain. And for me personally, sound can become quite painful. And these are really good because you actually can't see them. It's like a hug. It's honestly so nice just to get that sound reduced. You can get headphones that completely block out sound, but obviously as a parent I need to be able to hear things. It does increase your internal voice. I can definitely hear myself more, but I feel like I can control me easier than I can control the kids. I really have enjoyed finding these and using these. I use them in the car. I use them if we're going to the shops or just somewhere loud where I know it's gonna make me feel lots of emotions and potentially get like a trigger or a meltdown, and these have been absolutely a game changer for me. Because I keep them on my keys, they are with me wherever I go, which is so handy. Another thing we've discovered about having 4 kids is that they just fit in. Our kids have never had to ask for a sibling. Our kids have never gotten jealous of a sibling, because we have literally had a new family member come every like year and a half. It has just been a season of constant growing, in which case you really do get to see how resilient kids are, how much they can teach you. And it's just been a really blessed season of life. And I know the kids can't envision life any other way, and even as parents, Mick and I can't. And we really did have that sense of completion once Edmund joined our family. We always felt like we were missing someone every time we had that kid. Like, we had extra love to give, and then once we had Edmund, we really did have peace in the conclusion of growing our family. I know a reason why some people say that they don't want to have more kids besides living and transportation is holidays. Now, Michael and I love traveling. It's something that we enjoy doing with our kids, and like I said, next year we are taking our kids down to Sydney. It is something that, yes, is a little bit more tricky, and you really do need to go with a game plan, but it's 100% achievable. We have traveled with all of the kids. We've traveled when it's just been Amira. We've traveled even overseas to New Zealand with Zoe and Amira. We've traveled up to Cairns with the 3 kids, and now we're traveling down to the Gold Coast and to Sydney with the 4 kids while they're still relatively young. We find apartment style accommodation. For the next 2 holidays, we are going to be squeezing into a 2-bedroom apartment. Because the boys are so little, they can still sleep in cots, and we can do a workaround in regards to sleeping arrangements. The girls will be getting to that point where I'm sure they will be happy to skip their midday sleep while we're on holiday, in which case, when it comes to midday sleeping, Phineas can go in the girls' room in his cot, and then Edmund can go into our room in his cot, so the little boys can still have their midday sleeps. And even for nighttime, we'll probably keep Edmund in with us and Phineas can sleep with the girls. But it just gives us a little bit of wiggle room. Moving forward, as the kids get older, we'll probably need to get 3-bedroom apartments. We probably will only be able to holiday every second year because we'll have to save up for it. But it's something that is a non-negotiable for us. We will prioritize it as a family, and it was definitely not a reason to stop at having 2 kids. We really love the fact of creating family memories, and going on holidays as a family just is something that we're going to work with. One thing that I think people skip over is the fact that you actually grow and develop and reflect and learn every time you have a kid. It's not like you go from 0 to 4 and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in the deep end, what do I do? It's gradual growth. It's just like when you're blessed with a child, you don't all of a sudden have a teenager. You're growing with them, and I feel like it's something that people overlook because you gain more confidence every time you do something. And every time we've holidayed with fewer kids, it has prepared us to holiday with more kids. The best thing about having 4 kids is the fact that they learn life skills. The big girls are having to help out because it is too much for us to do by ourselves. They have their evening chores, which I've made a video about, where they help with cleaning down the table, sweeping the floors, putting the washing into the washing machine. I obviously put the load on. They help hang clothes up and take clothes down. They put their clothes away. Phineas will constantly be in the kitchen with me while I'm cooking and cleaning, and we are just doing life together. Our entertainment is doing things together. How do I do it? I just do, because there's no other way but forward. Do I have my hands full? Absolutely, but my heart is also full, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Do I know how babies are made? Yes. Will I be having more? No. If you've enjoyed watching today's video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really does support my channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that bell so you get notified when we upload every Monday and Thursday, because this parenting gig doesn't come with a rule book. We only have each other. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.